Hey folks, welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this right here is our bottom 5. That is to say our numbers 10 through 6 of our top 10 midweight games. Now midweight could be also construed as family games.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There are a lot of family games.
There's not a single game on here that's family game. Not one.
Okay.
Not one.
I think midweight is close. Not perfectly, but it's close to synonymous with family.
No.
I think
lightweight is family. 100%.
I think that's
Wait,
lowering the bar
what was
too
your
much.
low end of the... Anyways,
My low end of these games? Low end was 2.
2 to... Yeah.
2 to 3.4.
Okay.
And frankly, as I was putting the list together, some of those that fell within that parameter, I felt were too heavy on the top side.
Oh, interesting.
For a midweight level game.
I think lightweight up to probably 2.2 or 2.3. I think that's probably family weight games. I think from here 2.4 to 3.5, I think that's where the bulk of gamers games are. I think that's where the bulk of this is the center of our industry, right?
Yes.
There's so many wonderful, awesome games in this section.
Yes.
And then above that, 3.5 and up, then you're getting into, the heavy stuff.
The serious gamers.
Well, I don't even know about that. I think this is the bulk or the
I do. I absolutely
the heart
agree with
of our industries right here.
I absolutely agree with that, and I think
Part of hobby, I should say.
Sure. No, it's bread and butter.
Yep.
It's bread and butter for most of the people that are in the industry or in the hobby. I think is going to be this list. And there were some of my favorite games fall within the parameters, and I think they were too heavy for this.
Oh, that's
for this list. For this list, I definitely stayed within 2 to 3.
Okay, I didn't for sure.
I didn't have any games that were over 3 because I went into this a midweight level game is the kind of game that I'm probably going, and again, on the lower end, a midweight level game on the lower end is where I'm going to be playing most of my games in many of the situations that I'm at. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get to it. This is our bottom 5, 10 to 6 of our top 10 midweight games. Let's hit it. My number 10 is a game that it is a midweight level 4X game.
Okay.
If I can say it that way, which skews it a bit higher on the complexity level than what I would think, or according to your level, it's almost right on the money. It's a 2.8. It's called Last Light. It's my number 10. And because it's higher into that midweight category, it's lower on my list because I think it's skewing a little bit on the heavier side. It's not a heavy game. It's definitely not a heavy 4X game. Don't get me wrong. But as far as with midweight level games are concerned, I think this is in the upper half of that category. I really enjoy this game though. It takes 4X and completely cuts away all the fat that 4X games usually come with. Sure. Too many units, too many choices for tech trees and all of that kind of stuff. Too many things that you can do on your turn. All of that stuff that usually comes with, all of that kind of bloat that usually comes with 4X games. Last Light just strips all of the difficulty away and just has a very streamlined experience. It's still a beefy game, but it's not nearly as difficult as many of the other ones that are in that same 4X genre. And that's why I think it's a great midweight 4X game that will appeal to much more people because, first of all, it doesn't have the time commitment that most of those other 4X games have. Yep. And it doesn't have all of the glut and bloat that the other ones have as well. It's streamlined, it's to the point, it's still fun, still very strategic, still very tactical in some situations. Very, very good game. Last Light, my number 10.
That's a good pick. That is a good pick. All right, my number 10. Now, admittedly, I made my list, and then I emailed it to myself a couple days ago, and then I looked at it this morning, and I thought, I'm an idiot. So No, I just rearranged it a little bit. So, anyways, I didn't change anything. My number 10 is a wonderful economic game where you're placing down power plants in your power grid, and it's called Power Grid. Power Grid is an awesome game where everything you do, it's all about the money that you have. It's extremely economic. There's going to be a bidding process at the beginning of every round where you're bidding for these different power plants. And once you've collected and paid for your power plants, whatever you're going to pay for them, then there's a phase where you're going through and you're buying the fuel, whether that be garbage or coal or oil or depending on what version you have, or nuclear. There's a bunch of different. There's a couple different versions.
Isn't it like recycle? It's not garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage. If you're gonna burn garbage,
it's
that's
clean
good.
energy.
Well, if you're burning garbage, it's better than burning nature. Who knows? I don't know. We didn't cut down any trees.
There you go.
No trees were harmed in the making of Power Grid. Oh, wait, maybe some of them were for sure.
There were definitely trees.
Anyways, Power Grid is a fantastic economic game where you're collecting these power plants, you're putting them out on a map and having to pay for that, money to get them out on the map. So you're paying for your power plants. You're playing to put them in the grid, and then you're paying for all of your resources. And there's a supply and demand deal going on where if everybody's buying coal becomes very expensive. So you try to jump on and get oil or get something else. It's got a really cool, nice mechanism. It grows well throughout the course of the game. This is a really fun game. Yeah. I love the
what's
the
the
way that it's put
complexity
together.
on this one?
3.25.
3.2. Yeah. Okay.
Which is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think midweight, I think the definition of midweight is 3.0, and I understand that our definition is different.
Sure.
But 3.25 for sure. And you could play this with just about anybody. I don't think there's anybody that can't play this game. There's one game on my list here that probably breaks that rule. But
the economy for this one would... But it's more because of me. I struggle with economies in games.
Yeah.
Period. And this is one of those really tight economical systems in games, and I've screwed myself over so many times making a mistake in that system.
Let me put it this way: you can play this with any gamer.
Wow.
He can play it. It's
wow.
Okay. I believe it. All right, that's my number 10, Power Grid.
That's a good pick. It's a good game. All right, my number 9. My number 9 is a game that is all about putting on a show in the Colosseum at Rome, and this is called Colosseum. And this is a 2.76 as far as that's concerned, and this is one of the games that has kind of stayed with me. When I first got it, the first copy that I had was I think still the same copy that I have. I don't know where it is, but it's still the Days of Wonder copy. And I think I've transplanted some of the pieces out of the new edition into the old edition because I like those a little bit better. But generally speaking, I've just stayed with the Days of Wonder edition, and I really enjoy this game for the draft that is there, because you're drafting the different elements of the show that you're trying to put on. I like the scoring mechanism because your score only ever continues to go up, but it's based upon the kind of show that you're putting out there and how well you put on the show. You also derive points from a roll and move mechanism, which I usually abhor, but in certain systems I liked it because it makes sense. You can change the size of your Colosseum, which basically, in effect, makes it easier for councils and the emperor to land within your Colosseum as he moves around the track on the board, which I thought was a cool way to utilize that roll and move mechanism. I really enjoy this game a lot, and it's been a staple for a very long time. But it is, again, like I said, it's on the on my definition, it's on the upper end of the spectrum on what I would consider midweight. But it's still midweight level. There's a lot of games that are much more difficult. There's a lot of games that are much easier. But that's my number 9, Colosseum.
My number 9, talk about bread and butter, is probably might be the lightest, highly popular Gem Phyllis game. I think I'll put it that way. Maybe that's the best way to put. I don't know. But anyways, this is Architects of the West Kingdom. I extremely like Architects of the West Kingdom. This is a worker placement game that has a nice layout. It has a really cool mechanic where as you're placing workers out, if you continue to place in the same place, you get more and more resources with each collection. And at the same time, you can round up people's guys and stick them in your jail. And ransom them off or send them over to the jail at some point in time. This is a really cool, very, very interactive, mid-weight worker placement game.
Absolutely.
That's every person I've put this in front of that I've played it with, they've liked it. Even if they're newer gamers or whatever else, it just fits well. It has a good theme. It has a good flow to it and a good thought process.
Absolutely.
So, Architects of the West Kingdom is a fantastic game.
That's probably, well, it's definitely in the top 3 Garfield games for me, with Raiders, Architects, and then Ezra and Nehemiah. Those are probably my 3 favorite. That's a great game.
Yeah, it is a fantastic game.
My number 8. This is one of the games that's kind of synonymous for me with being midweight and being a family game, because I think this is very much a family game. Been playing this, dice rolling a lot, using those dice to generate your resources, and then use those in the Stone Age. This is a 2.46, and the difficulty in this game, for people generally speaking, is knowing how many workers to send to these different places.
Sure.
That's the hurdle that most people reach, and that's the learning curve. To send, just a couple, because when you're going to get gold, you don't need a whole lot of gold. You just need to make sure you're going to get at least one. But if you're going to get wood, you're going to need a lot of wood. There's a lot of things that use wood, so you need to send more. And of course, the whole, again, we talked about economic systems. The economic system in this one is basically division, where the number of workers that you send out to each of these different spaces where you can generate resources is how many dice you're going to roll, and then the amount that you roll on those dice is divided by a number, depending upon what kind of service, what kind of resource it is. And so how well you can generate resources is where the learning curve lies in this one. And it's one of those games that makes you it almost makes it scripted on you need to get more workers, but you also have to pay food for those workers in order to continue doing well over the game. And so there's a lot of stuff here that puts it in that midweight category. I wouldn't say it's a light game at all, but it's also not even close to being a heavy game either. It's just got a learning curve for how you generate those resources.
It's a good example of a midweight game, kind of right in the middle midweight game, because this is a game you can play very nonchalantly with new people. But it's also a game you can play extremely competitively. You can turn this one into a 3.2 with just playing it very
with the people you play it at,
Yes.
the people you play it with.
You can very much turn this into a very strategic.
Yeah, most of the places where you go to get resources, there are restrictions to how many workers can go there, and if you're not careful in one of those kinds of games where you have very thinky players in there, those places can run out. Only one of the areas, the hunting area, has an unlimited number of workers that can be sent to it. So that's definitely a great point.
But getting people, getting food, getting those ships at the right times, like the rest of the area placements, that's one thing. But those 3 things, and taking the buildings, at the right time, the huts at the right time, all those things can be very strategic. So
and
that's
those
a
cards,
really good pick.
That set collection part of the cards, also really great thing. Anyway, that's my number 8, Stone Age.
All right, my number 8. I'm looking at the 8.
Was his number 5 this morning.
Well, maybe. No, I don't know why I said that. My number 8 is, I'm looking at 8 here and 8 here. Come on. My number 8 is Dune Imperium.
Ooh.
Dune Imperium's a 3.07 on the Richter scale, and I think that it is the epitome of a midweight game. Like, this is heavier than Stone Age for sure.
Absolutely.
Heavier than Architects for sure. But this is a midweight gamer's game. It's not a heavy game. There's not a ton of thought process in it. Same kind of thing that actually follows with Architects. You can play this pretty openly and enjoyably, or you can play it competitively. I mean, they do that, right? They do freaking Dune Imperium tournaments where everything is very, very tight, very, very strategic. So you can play that wide range of games with this game, which is really cool. But this is a worker placement game where the card you play dictates where you can place your worker.
Yep.
Your cards are giving you different abilities or different items, depending on the timing of you playing them. And then there's a combat aspect, an area control aspect, really is what it is, that happens round by round, that you can win these conflicts. And it's a deck builder, so it has all of those kind of key points, but for a really good middleweight. Now, there's a lot of ways of, adding expansions and stuff like that, and uprising.
Complexity
Now, this is the base one. This is not uprising. That will boost that complexity up. But Dune Imperium itself, I think, fits this category very well. So that's my number 8.
My number 7 is 2.53 on the Richter scale, as we are now calling it. That's a good name. That's a good name. How much of a boom does it cause?
That's right.
2.53. So for me, it's right in the middle. But there's a lot going on. But I think the procedural process, that's redundant. The procedure that you have to go through while you play this game is what really kind of puts this back down into a midweight level game, and that is Critter Kitchen. Critter Kitchen. Now I think with all of the other modules that come with the game that I have, or the base game, the complexity can ramp up a little bit. All of the different things that you have to do and how you do those things and what you can use them with, that's where the complexity can probably rise this much more into maybe what you would consider to be right in there.
Well, this is a midweight game.
But I think,
either way, this is definitely a midweight game.
I think the complexity of reading, the complexity for me falls in noticing what my other people are going to, or rather not noticing, but remembering. That's my problem. Remembering what other people have taken, what they're going to be going for, and where they're going to want to go now. Sure. Keeping all of that is where this raises it out of the idea of being a family game. I'll give you that. This is not really a family game. No. But I have played it with my family, and this is one of my wife's favorite games.
Sure.
So,
but your family's gamers. So your family's in the gaming game.
Sure,
level.
But not all of them are, because like one of them, if he never plays another board game, I think he'll be good.
Well, he would never sit down and play this one for fun.
But he has.
Unless you make him.
Well, no.
You wouldn't be like, hey, does anybody want to play Critter Kitchen? And he wouldn't jump up and down and say, yep, I'm in.
That's true. But that's because that's with any game pretty much. That's with any game pretty much. But no, I totally get that. But I think there is if we're using a Venn diagram, I think there's a lot of overlap between midweight and family. I think there's a lot of overlap. He thinks there isn't.
Nope.
That's fine. That's why we're two different people. But this one is a great mid-level Euro game. Worker placement, set collections, in-game goals. These are all things that I really enjoy. And I know some people are getting tired of the anthropomorphic animals and all that kind of stuff. This one's good. I like it. I think it's cool. I also like all of the different animals that were put in there that were caricatures of famous chefs.
Sure. Yeah.
That type of stuff. I just think it's a really fun game. It's a great little thing. That's my number 7. 2.53 Critter Kitchen.
There you go. My number 7 is a Viking-themed game that's worker placement with lots of dice rolling. This is one of my favorite games. This is an amazing game, and this is called Champions of Midgard.
Yeah.
Champions of Midgard is a great one of 2. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Did you put the other one on there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you
said
do.
one of two. I was like, what is he talking about? This Champions of Midgard, though. This is a 2.6 on the BGG weight, and this is, like I said, another epitome of a midweight game. This is a perfect middle road. This is a perfect gamer's game without too much brain damage, but a lot of fun. And this is a worker placement game where you're collecting dice and resources, and the dice are your warriors, your berserkers and spearmen and swordsmen and all those kind of things. And then every round you're trying to commit your dice to go across the sea to fight big giant monsters, or to defend the town from the troll, or to fight the Draugr, or go to the mountains, or whatever else, depending on which expansions you have. But it has this nice mentality of the thought process of an old Viking clan or whatever, and the fact that your Vikings want to go, they want to fight, they're ready to die, and that's where you get your points and everything else. Now, this is better with Valhalla, and it's better with the Dark Mountain, and neither one of those added to this make it any higher than midweight, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely
They
correct.
just add into that some of the options and things like that, but your worker placement spots don't change.
Yep.
You just get a few more things to do, and with your dead soldiers that go to Valhalla, stuff like that, you get to spend those tokens as well. So,
Absolutely.
But this is a fantastic game. Champions of Midgard is a fantastic game, and it will always be one of my favorites.
Couldn't agree more. And my number 6, the last one for me on this segment, was a 2.73 on the Geek, and this is the only strictly solo game on my list, and that is Final Girl. I really enjoy this as a midweight solo game. JT came up with the idea of you can actually play the solo with somebody else. You just kind of,
That's how Mel and I play it.
that's what he said, is that him and his wife do this all the time. They just both sit down and they both play the game together. They both make decisions together. So it kind of turns into a cooperative game at that point, but you're just controlling one person.
Yeah.
And I really like that idea very much, and it works. But this is it was designed as a solo-only game where only one player is playing the game and controlling the people and the elements and all, making the decisions. But the amount of puzzle and theme that is wrapped up in this little solo game is astounding to me. There are few that have really I'm not really a solo gamer. There are people out there that they play games solo religiously, and that's what they're all about, and good for it, and more power to them. I'm just not that way. I'd rather play a game that has other people sitting at the table. But this one, and only a few others, I'm thinking Under Falling Skies, and really that's about it right now. Those are the two. I know you've mentioned 20 Strong is pretty good. We've got
pretty good, yeah.
We've got a couple other solo games that are in the pipe, headed our
Fire
way.
Delve is good. It's better with 2 players.
But I haven't played those. So right now, these two and really Final Girl is the one that I would choose if I had to choose between one of those two, which is why it's on the list and not the other one. But Final Girl is a great game. My number 6, 2.73 on the Richter scale. Final Girl.
Nice. I wonder where Under Falling Skies, I don't even know. It's probably pretty low. Probably
No,
like a
it's
2.3
it's
or
in the
something,
same
maybe
category.
2.2 maybe.
It's in this same window. I just chose. I think I wrote it down. Even maybe I did. I don't
all
know.
good.
Let's see. Under Falling is a 2.4, and I did have it on there, but I decided, I'm only going to put one.
Yep. It's on the lighter end.
Yep.
Okay. My number 6. Now, this is where I did do some finagling. My number 6, the last one on this list, is Marvel Champions, which is a 2.95. It's a very easy game to play, especially if you have somebody setting up the game for you. Like, Mel and I play this, when we play it, she just picks what deck she wants and I get everything ready to go. Then you can just play. Once you're playing the game, it's nice and simple. It's got a good thought process. In Marvel Champions, you're taking on a character, or multiple people are taking on characters, and they're taking on these special decks, the aggression deck or protection deck or justice deck or whatever. And they're mixing their character deck with that justice deck. And basically these are, you have a big bad enemy, and you can go with any kind of difficulty scale you want there. Some of those enemies have a lot of difficulty to them, and some of them do not. But you're trying to thwart they're trying to do something, and you're trying to thwart their scheme while beating them down and not dying yourself.
Yeah.
So you're doing a mix of attacks and defenses. They have, minions coming out. You have allies coming out. There's just a continuous combat back and forth. There's a really cool mechanic where you flip your character from their superhero side to their civilian side, and on their civilian side you do different things than you can on your superhero side. But when you're on your civilian side also, they can't attack you, which might be a very needed reprieve at the right time so that you don't get beat up or finished off. But Marvel Champions is a fantastic game. It's excellent. It's a deck construction game, but it's deck construction prior to playing the game. Once you've made your decks and put them together, then you're just playing this game, and it's really thematic and really fun.
And
so.
I think that's a good delineation between deck building and deck construction. This is a deck construction game, not a deck building game.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right.
Yep,
cool.
Yep.
Well, that's that. Our numbers 10 through 6 of our top 10 midweight games. If you look in the description below, there is a link where you can head over to the Flipside, which is where we have our top 5 midweight level games. And so we'll see you on the Flipside. Give us a like and subscribe here. Hit us in the comments as well. We'll read everything and possibly even respond to you. And then head on over to the Flipside, and we'll see you there.
Thanks for joining us on the Dice Tower, and don't forget to play games.
That's right.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.